We are gonna go hit some legs today. It's about 5:30. Alright, let's get it. We done made it. Now we're gonna do some cardio to start. I usually like to do an incline. Incline helps your calves get a little stretch too. So I usually go about 2 something, and I'll bump it up slowly over time. I'm gonna hit this cardio for about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll see how I'm feeling. I do need to walk more. Try to get it in when I can. Being from New York City, I'm used to walking a lot, but down here in Arkansas, it's just walking around the neighborhood most of the time. Now I'm about to do some light warm-up movements. Definitely in the morning, your body isn't as limber because you haven't been moving throughout the day, so keep that in mind whenever you're doing morning workouts. I'm about to hit some Jefferson curls on the wall. The wall just helps take a little bit more stress off of my back. Pushing your hips into the wall and having that support helps take a little bit of load off of the back. Usually you want to start with either body or I'm going to add a little twist at the bottom, so that'll just help target the muscles that laterally bend the spine, such as your QL, your erector spinae muscle group. Gonna get through like the top outside of the glute there. Ideally, you just want to look for those tender areas, and then once you find those areas, hold that spot for at least 30 seconds. And then you can rock back and forth gently. But the whole idea is you're applying this pressure on those tender areas, and that pressure is supposed to help relax the muscle. You might need to hold it for a little bit more. Now we're going to do banded hip distractions. So you want a band that's going to pull you, and you want to have it pull you about like a 45-degree angle or so. But the whole idea is to pull the top of your femur, the ball of your femur, pull that back, further back into the socket as you sit back into that hip. So I'm using this leg to help lock, then I'm sitting back toward that hip. You can play around, do like a contract, relax. So I'm pressing my knee into the ground as I sit back, hold in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then relaxing for 10 seconds. Hip airplanes is the last exercise for my warm-up. With the hip airplane, my main focus is controlling the movement through the ball and socket joint in my hip, rotating the torso around the pelvis, around the stance hip, while my femur stays fixed. I'm trying to move slow and controlled at the hip joint rather than twisting into my low back, keeping the core engaged with a little tummy squeeze, rib cage pulled down, and a slight tuck of the pelvis so that I'm not arching. Alright, we're doing some zerchers. I'm gonna start with the bar, squeezing those armpits, shoulder blades back. Do some zercher, heel elevated squats, making it more quad dominant. You got front load and heels elevated. I hope you stay more upright. Put more emphasis on the quads. Slow and controlled. You do your warm-up sets like you do your working sets to get to the habit of owning your form. I'm still trying to deal with my lower back. Still looking to get stronger or maintain without putting too much stress. Well, I want to get back into some heavy lifting. Gotta take steps back first, and that's hard because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Whew. That really challenges your upper back and your arms. You definitely get more upper body involved with those. But it's good, especially if your upper back is weak. That was a 10. I do a 10 and a 5. So we're not going really heavy. I haven't gone to the gym in a week. depending on how you feel, you know, it's probably better to go a little lighter than ramp up again. I usually do like 2 or 3 sets for these. I like this variation for keeping strain off of my lower back as much as possible. Camera about to die. No. Camera's about to be unalived. We're just going right there. Just really trying to get the range of motion, adductor lengthening, and then also strengthening the outside of that hip. I try to incorporate different planes of motion. The battery's still holding on. Shit. I usually like to set up on the ground first before I stand up. Try to get your leg or knee at about 90 degrees there. Sitting back, going more vertical shin there. Just trying to emphasize the glutes a little more. Pushing through that heel. I don't know how many that was, but I do be losing count. Do the other side. Getting set up is the hardest part of these. Yeah, those aren't heavy at all. My grandma can do those well. She passed, rest in peace, grandma, but when she was here, she could definitely do these 20s. So I'm about to do some single leg calf raises on a wedge, so that way I'm getting a nice stretch, but my heel is also supported too, so it feels a little bit more comfortable than hanging your leg off of like a step or a bench. Doing that can definitely help with your ankle mobility, especially if you have tight calves. I usually try to go close to 40 with these. And then you can add weight with these too. For me, for now, these body weight ones are sufficient enough. Then I'm coming up on first 2 toes there, the big toe and the toe next to it. I used to do a lot of calf raises in ballet on the bar. They do get pretty fatiguing when you go slow with them. And hold it for a second at the top. Oh man. After the first set, you might feel that you got less stretch on the second set. My calf feels looser on the second set, so kind of have to lean a little bit more slightly forward. You like to do some stability ball leg curls. Each time before you come up, you're thinking about elongating your spine and tucking your tailbone to get your pelvis in more of a neutral position. Inhale here. Exhale on the curl. Inhale again. Exhale on the way down. Sometimes it could be confusing when you have multiple things going on in a single exercise on how to breathe. Like I said, I'm just getting back into it. You don't want to go too heavy too soon when you're taking a week off, especially if you're dealing with some back stuff. lift pretty heavy. So that's going to conclude it for this leg day. Just getting movement and different planes of motion, looking for different movement patterns within my workout. You know, the squats, lunges, side lunge, a lot of unilateral work. I like to group my unilateral work in one day. I mean, you could do it however you want. Not a lot of machine isolation. I do like to do machine isolation. It's just how I'm programming it right now. But if you want like strictly hypertrophy, obviously you want to do something that you're able to load pretty well and isolate, but that's not the ultimate goal of why I'm doing that exercise. So like I said, I still implement those things. That's it for my leg day. I love the upper body, but there's just something about how you feel after a leg day. And if you need help with any of that stuff, if you need help with programming or someone watching your form, hit me up for some training. And I'll be more than happy to help with your fitness goals. Strength, mobility, structuring your programming, macros, form checks, even some corrective exercise. You deal with pain all the time, and I definitely have my fair share of that through personal training and working in the field of physical therapy for the last about 6 years or so. Fill out the intake form on www.flexclub.fit. We'll review the application, and if you're a good fit, we can set up a call. Stay strong, friends. We'll see you in the next video.
Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it. I just win. I'm on 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.